Vamos a presentar ahora a una mujer de empresa. Ella impulsó la transformación de Diesel Canadá y obviamente es una marca que conocemos mucho, reconocida en el mundo de la moda, pero también en 2005 creó la fundación One Zone, guiada por la filosofía de que cada vida es preciosa y que las personas pueden determinar cambios profundos en las vidas de otros, uno por uno. Es fundadora e inspiradora de Revolución Industrial 2, un nuevo modelo empresarial para el siglo XXI. Fue distinguida entre las 100 mujeres más poderosas de Canadá y hoy, al compartirnos su experiencia personal, que ya la ha compartido en otros ámbitos, pero que es sumamente poderosa, quizás nos invite o nos inspire también para convertirnos en agentes de cambio en nuestras organizaciones. Bienvenida, Joey Adler.
¿Cómo estás? That's my Spanish. So, my father was Spanish. I'm actually half Latin. I'm very proud of that. Unfortunately, I worked in Italy for 30 years, so I speak Italian, and I'm confused when I get to anywhere that speaks Spanish. So I apologize, but next time I hope I will be able to do my speech in Spanish. First of all, I want to thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Muchas gracias a todos. I want to say what an honor and privilege it was to share the stage with the doctor and also with you, Christian. Very interesting. I learned a tremendous amount today. I've spent 2 incredible days in Argentina. This is my second time in Buenos Aires. I came 4 or 5 years ago, and you have the most incredible country. The people you are unbelievable in your generosity, your spirit, your warmth, your creativity. The possibilities are endless for the Argentinian people, and I'm very proud to be here. I want to thank a lot, tremendous amount, MJ and Javier for inviting me. I think the organization GDFE is a tremendous organization, and I hope to do more work and come back. All the sponsors that are here, congratulations for supporting such a wonderful day. The music was an unbelievable moment. I think many of you have spent a lot of time in these kinds of events, and this was new for me. And I think it is a reminder to us what we need to do to change the world. And it starts with the education of our children. We are taking out art and we are taking out music out of our education because we don't have the budgets. When we know that the creativity of music and art elevate our children psychologically, intellectually, emotionally. We have had 2 amazing speakers. I'm not that great, but what's clear to me is that our goal is to create an education system where children are exposed to the wonderful, beautiful, emotional vibrations of this earth. We understand vibration is a new kind of paradigm, that we are all interconnected through vibrations from a spiritual level. And so why do we take music out? I don't know. I had the very good privilege 2 nights ago to give a little lecture to an MBA class of MJ's husband at the Catholic University. And I was impressed and happy to see young people who are doing MBAs, but with a different perspective on education of finance, which is not the goal of money, as Christian was mentioning, but the goal of how to be happy in a career they're going to choose and to be able to maximize that. I'm a capitalist. I'm very proud to be a capitalist, but I'm a capitalist with a heart. I'm a capitalist that believes in empathy, and I believe in the new economy. I do agree with you, Christian. There is a new economy on the horizon that is and needs to be for the common good of humanity. Maybe it's a mixture of capitalism and socialism? I don't know. What I do know is I'm sick of labels. I'm sick of tribalism. I'm sick of labels. I'm sick of being put in a box. I'm a liberal, but I'm not very proud of liberalism today. So I say to everyone, meet me in the middle. Come meet me in the middle. Let's talk about the middle. I met yesterday with 10 NGOs. I think some of you are all here. NGOs are such an important part of our society, and yet they face tremendous difficulty in sustainability. And I have a foundation. I started a foundation many years ago. I started my foundation because in 2001, my husband became critically ill, catastrophically ill. And when I took him into the hospital in an emergency situation, translators, am I okay? Not too fast? Okay, good. They made me promise to talk to them. Hello. They've a wonderful job, by the way, from the translators, so you should give them an applause. About 24 hours in the process, the doctor said to me, your husband's not going to survive, and you shouldn't waste your time, and we are not going to waste our resources. This was the moment in my life that changed my life forever. This is Canada, one of the richest countries in the world, and you have a doctor that tells me, don't waste your time, because we're not going to waste our resources. And it became a battle between me and her for 17 months. She was going to kill my husband, and I was going to keep him alive. Because she had to be right. This is the world we live in. And the same moment in time was September the 11th, 2001. And I was home. I used to go from the hospital in the middle of the night to change and shower because I had to be at the hospital by his bedside at all time. I didn't trust. And I went there at 2 o'clock in the morning and I saw the scourge of New York. My sister had told me on the phone and I couldn't even believe it. It was surreal to understand. And then when I saw the buildings coming down in the middle of the night, and then they cut away to a commercial of a child in Africa, you know, the child that is with the flies, and it hit me on that moment, on the night between September 11th and September 12th of 2001, that there was no value for human life on this planet. That human life, one human life, was worthless, and that we made economic decisions every day to who should live and to who should die. And I promised myself at that moment that I would spend the rest of my life promoting the value and the power of one human being. And this is what I believe fundamentally. I believe that we have infinite power as single human beings to make profound change in the lives of other people around us, and that we can empower each other to make great change. So after this experience, my husband passed away, and I started a foundation, and I started to travel to Africa and Haiti. And, you know, I was very involved in Haiti in the floods of 2008. I was the first non-military flight into Haiti after the earthquake. But I was concerned about the sustainability of pure philanthropy. And this is where in 2005 in Rwanda, the idea came to me for what we call now social enterprise. There was no word for it then. I said to myself, I'm a business person. How do I create change within my business model? And I think this is the key to where I believe we have to be. And that is, how do we, within our existing business models, create seamless change? And the example I like to use, which is, I think, relatively simple, is a taxi company. Imagine if every taxi company in the world donated 1 hour of every driver to take elderly people or infirm people, people with physical challenges, to the grocery stores or to the hospital for appointments. This taxi company would not lose 1 penny of revenue because they would program it based on the times and the cycles and we would change the world. With taxi companies, my industry, which was the fashion industry, is 150,000 factories in the world, employing over 100 million people, and perhaps the most lacking in ethics of any industry. And I'll throw in the oil and everybody else in there. If we, and I gave this speech at the UN, I said, if we gave back 5% of the profits at the FOB, which was $650 billion a year, if we gave back 5%, an average, back into the communities where we took out so much benefit, we could change the world in 24 hours. Because we would put back $30 billion in the poorest economies of the world. This is what I have been doing for the last 15 years, is thinking, what can I do in my business model to make change? How do I engage my employees? How do I create what I call a humanistic? You know, we talk about corporate social responsibility, we talk about sustainability. These words are very powerful. Leadership. What do they mean in our environment? How do we affect them in our own environment? They mean different things for different people. How do we implicate them in our business model to make change? This is what I believe. I believe we're all talking the same language here. How do we make partnerships between the nonprofits in a community, the small business in a community, the producers in a community? How do we create an ecosystem where I say, leverage what you do every day for good? Leverage what you do every day. Every day we do things. We get on an elevator. What stops us from saying hello to the person next to us? We can change their day. How do we create kindness? Real kindness. So when someone cuts us off, instead of being rude, we take a moment of empathy to understand what they are going through. Because I lived that. I used to run back to the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I was not even present. I wasn't present. I don't know where. And I remember cutting someone off and stopping, and the man screaming at me and giving me all sorts of not nice signs. And I said to myself, if you're a human being, if you knew what I was going through right now, you would feel so bad. So, where am I today? Today I took all my ideas, I retired from my main career, I packed up myself and I moved to Venice Beach, California to start, to start a brand new platform called the Department of Good. What is a Department of Good? The Department of Good is an ecosystem where I believe that the backbone of our economies is small business. Small business in North America is 97% of all business. I believe here in Argentina, it's 99.5% of all business. What I want to say, and I fully agree with you, Doctor, and I think your model, Christian, is an incredible opportunity for the world, and I hope and wish for all the success that you can move this shift, because it'll make a big difference in society. I'm not young enough anymore to think that way you think. I want to sit in my little environment and affect my community. I believe between models such as yourself and the education changing, we can impart a lot of change community by community. And that's what I would like to do. I would like to empower small business. I would like to give the tools to small business that they're missing: access to capital, innovative product, a link to consumers, a link to a worldwide platform. I invite you, hopefully, to go visit it. We are blockchain enabled. We may be the first shopping platform to do so. But it all starts with the understanding that we have a responsibility Actually, we don't have a responsibility. We have a privilege to help each other. Helping other people is not a responsibility. It should never be a responsibility. It should be a privilege. When you do things for someone else, it is a huge privilege. And so I'm not going to take too much time because I know we have a panel. I think humanistic approach to business, taking care of our employees, making a world where people feel good. And by the way, for all the corporations here, there is no discussion. If you have a fundamental value system within your organization where family, goodness, kindness, sharing, giving back to community are part of your everyday values, you have a better bottom line. You do better. It's not anymore a discussion. Happy employees create a better business environment for the pure capitalists among us. But it starts with us as consumers, and this is where I'm going to leave you. If we took more care in how we consumed, because I heard President Clinton say the following one day. He said, money is congregating in fewer and fewer hands, but the power is disseminating across billions of people because of social media. If we took the time to understand who we were purchasing from, what company are you buying from? What is their value? Do they take care of do they have a good policy for women that are pregnant? Do they have equality? Do they have, proper retirement? Do they give, because in the US, there's none of that. Coming from Canada down to the US and seeing that there's no such a thing as paid vacation, these are fundamental things to make people live, as Christian says, a better life, a more quality life for humans. So for me, it's about the humanistic approach to everything we do. How do we put humanity first in how we do business? And for us, we have a big opportunity by bringing together corporate world with the nonprofits, inculcating a model within our businesses to put back into community through these nonprofits so they have a sustainable flow of resources, and then bringing in the government where you can in order to scale that and replicate that. And so I say to you guys that are all here, the NGOs, the businesses, the fact that you can come together in this kind of an environment and think creatively, which is what I saw yesterday, and I congratulate your organization. We are going to change the world, but we'll only change it if we are all together and we all remember to be kind to one another. Thank you very much.